here we have the Blader of Summer in a special interview here where he's telling about Auto Challenge, as you can see in the back here, and some other stuff like that, which he's won before. So now here's a
four times.
Here's a few-minute interview with the Blader of Summer. Well, not an interview, but him telling about his thoughts of this, which will run for about 3 minutes. Go.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you my thoughts about this. Is that basically it's about discussion, open forum, talking about things, about cars, and I think the real key to victory here is that being the real rationale about what makes a car good, the true free spirit of a car. It's not necessarily how fast, how many horsepower a car has, because a car can have an awful lot of horsepower.
No, I think that's the most important thing.
And anybody who knows anything about horsepower knows that it's not necessarily how much horsepower that an engine can actually bring out. It depends on how much of that horsepower gets to the ground through the tires and whatnot. That ends up being a key. So a car can then have 1,000 horsepower.
Bugatti Veyron.
And even seeing that, knowing that actually how a car moves through space and moving through air, that you need to increase, a lot of horsepower just to gain an extra couple of miles per hour. So all that stuff, it's all fancy schmancy, scientific, engineer kind of stuff, and we know how, in general, there's a kind of a stigma about being an engineer, how boring sometimes that number stuff can be. But the true spirit of a car, like the TR6, open roof, just going through the countryside, just driving that real drive experience, that's what counts more than anything. What a car means to the demographics of it, like the next car that I'm going to come on out and talk about.
The Nissan Cube.
It has the demographic, and it means something to the demographic. Now, the person who is driving a Bugatti may not care about a Nissan Cube, but for the demographic, the Cube is a very decent car. It has a look, that someone just might think is pretty awesome. And and again, it's one of those things, kind of like a pug or some of them other kind of dogs like that. They're kind of ugly, but they're gonna have these girls to snuggle up with them because they think they're just so gosh darn cute. So I think that's just the thing about it. It may not be as fast as a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a McLaren or something like that, but it certainly has its place. Aston Martin.
Or GT.
So, but it has a niche, and I think that's the whole thing about it. It's a driving
Mini
experience.
Cooper.
It's a driving experience.
Porsche 911, GT3 RS.
Okay, so all those different things, but they all have a different type of a driving experience.
Donnie.
So that's what it's all about, and that's why the cars that I pick, and that's why I win. It's more about the experience. What a vehicle means to somebody, because again, this may not necessarily, just because it might have the most horsepower and it might cost the most of money, doesn't make it the better car.
Questionable.
No, because what's going to end up happening is that somebody could truly love their car, and regardless of the fact that it may not be the most expensive or have the most horsepower, the person likes it because they have a connection. There's an emotional connection to the vehicle. The same thing with people. You might be in love with somebody, and they may not be a supermodel, or they may not be a millionaire, but they have that emotional connection to somebody. So it doesn't really necessarily matter that they have the most of these different things. So it's the same kind of idea. So that's my thing about it, and that's why I win, because that's just the truth about vehicles. It isn't about horsepower. It isn't about money. It's about the emotional connection that somebody has with their vehicle. There you go. That's my thoughts. So.
Right. That's the Blader of Summer on Cars and Auto Challenge. And now, after this video, you will see my thoughts on a similar thing, but obviously from my point of view, which is maximum horsepower and complete speed of a car, like a Ferrari, or all the other supercars that we just mentioned.
But, of course, bikini girls, I have in mind. Nothing wrong with bikini girls. Tell me there's anything wrong with them. Tell me there's something wrong with that.
I didn't say that there was.
There you go.
I didn't say that there was.